Hello and welcome, my name is Krya and today I'll show you a Lightning-Archon build that is capable of doing T6. I tried to keep it as simple as possible, so it's not that hard to get all the gear I'm using here. Okay, first of all let's take a look at the gear. So as you can see, I'm using Orc Hilt, which can be crafted, head and braces, and I'm using Born, shoulders and weapon. It's pretty simple to get. I mean, once you have the recipe, you just have to find the materials. It's not so hard to make. So, as you can see, I'm also using 3 parts Born at the moment. I only need 2, but to show you how good this build works, I just go with 3. Usually I just use the Tile armor to get the 4 set there, but it's not needed. But there are some other things really needed, like a whir. You want to have 3 of those. Doesn't matter if it's chest or not. You want this ring of the Royal Grandeur. Well, it's quite obvious why. We use a lot of sets. We want to have this ring. Some might say it's hard to farm. It probably is. It also took me several weeks to get it, and as you can see, it's not even a really good one, but it is possible at least. So yes, if you don't have one, get one. It's, yeah, you want it. Then, so the must-haves in this spec is you want either Born or Captain set, simply for the reduced cooldown of the set bonus. I prefer Born. It's quite easy to get. You can make a weapon, so if you don't have any great weapon, you just stick to Born. You can use both as well, but that's not really needed. That's pretty overkill, but yeah. So you want Born, Orc Hilt. You want Orc Hilt for the damage mitigation. Playing high torment means also taking a lot of damage, and the set bonus here really helps a lot. Also, 15% increased damage against elites should not be underestimated. You want to have a socket in the head, crit, int and wit. Yeah, socket is really important. You need that diamond there. It's quite obvious, but cooldown reduction is the most important thing we can have, and we want it. Okay, so let's summarize. What do we really need? We need Orc Hilt, we need Born, we want Whir, we need this ring. Then, quite optional, the source should have cooldown reduction, crit, intellect and damage. I really like to have the vitality on it because 700 something is a lot of vitality, and you only get that from the head basically. So on the head and the source, try to get vitality on. Some might say you want to use a Triumph, but Triumph eats 1 primary stat, and I think it's not worth it, but it doesn't really matter as long as you have crit, intellect, high damage and cooldown reduction on it. For the necklace, you basically want lightning damage, intellect, crit damage and Critchance. It doesn't need to be Tull Rush, not at all. I just use it because I have it. That's actually the only lightning one I have, and yes, but basically any other legendary necklace with those stats will do. Same goes for the source. Maybe the crafted one might even be better because we use teleport a lot and it's nice to have. Okay, then lastly, the belt, string of ears. You really want one of those. They are not really, they don't look attractive because, I mean, if you read what it gives, it's nothing special. But they reduce damage taken from melee attacks by 27%. It is a lot. You will notice the difference on T6, I promise you. because a lot of elite affixes also count as melee attacks, so it's really worth it. And lastly, second ring, I'm having a Stone of Jordan equipped at the moment. I mean, for soloing, best in slot, double unity of course, but I'll show you that it's not necessary. I mean, it's great to have, it's overpowered. I'm not sure if it's intended or not, probably not. But yeah, it also works with Stone of Jordan, you even deal some more damage. Yes, as you can see, I have some other gear in my equipment. Healing necklaces, I don't really use them. Maras I only use on the Gom Rift boss, for example, or the Ice Climbers on the ice spamming Rift boss, but I'm not really using them. I usually use this one instead of the Born, just showing you that it works with Born because it's just much easier to get. Furthermore, I have some more Tal Rasha for the set bonus, mostly for group play, because then you want elemental exposure and then it's really great to have that. Thunder God's Vigor. If you go with double unity, I usually go with this one because it's 15% more lightning and also a good secondary if that helps us. So I really like this one as lightning, but it's not needed. It's really not needed. Then of course the Shrine Braces. This one, I love to have them in the inventory if there's a well and Archon is on cooldown, just swap it and it's off cooldown. And yeah, these on lower torments, but I'm not using this on T6 usually. Okay, so that's about the gear. Next thing, the stats. As I said, cooldown reduction is the best thing that can happen to us. We are using a lot of skills with cooldown, Black Hole, Archon of course, and Teleport. If you can see, with 60% something, we gain the rune and have it up all the time basically. That's really great. Also, since Archon has 100 seconds cooldown, that means, and it lasts 20 seconds, so we only have like less than 20 seconds downtime from Archon, which is great. So aim for around 60%. You don't need 63, since I'm usually playing with this, about 59, but you should not go lower than 56, 57%, because yeah, you want a cooldown reduction, even if it scales horribly. Okay, so that's the first thing you want. Secondly, toughness. If you want to play high torment, toughness is really important. It's underestimated a lot. So get a lot of toughness from Occult, set bonus, String of Years, even the intellect gives us some mitigation. Then of course this Born set 15% life. At the moment I have around 570k life, and I would say you should have around, yeah, at least 500k life. And as you can see, my toughness is unbuffed, about 60 million. Then again, I'm using the Unwavering Will at the moment, so completely unbuffed, it's like 13k. And then buffed, it goes up to almost 23k. Yeah, as I said, if you play with Unity, you can sacrifice some toughness, but if not, you want it. Believe me, you want that toughness. My damage is not that high, but it's enough. I mean, if you can face tank them with Archon, it's more than enough. You can melt down elites, and you will see later. Okay, lastly, the Paragon points. Of course, you want maximum movement speed, so since I have 12 here, I only need 13 here, and I have more points to spend on intellect. Then cooldown reduction first, and whatever gives you most damage. You should try to have equal crit and crit damage. That's not the case for me, but yeah, can't help it for now. Defensives, yeah, I like the life a lot since I'm stacking a lot of life, but armor is just as good. Some people even say armor is the best, but doesn't really matter that much which one of those three you max out first, in my opinion. Here I go for life on hit first. The lightning spells have the advantage they really give quite a lot of life on hit in return. Also the area damage, just because we don't really need the resource cost in our current spec. We are not really using any spender. Okay, so then let's jump to the skills. As I already mentioned, we don't have a real spender. We use Black Hole Supermassive. It's great CC, also does a decent amount of damage. I'm using Shock Pulse Piercing Orb just because you can stand ranged and it procs paralysis quite a lot. You can try with others. I like this the most. It's not really important because we focus on Archon and it's up almost all the time. A must-have is a safe passage, at least for soloing. For group play I change it to Calamity since I have elemental exposure then and Talrasha, but for soloing safe passage is really great. It's 25% and it's up all the time. Then we want the prismatic armor just for more damage mitigation, and magic weapon, force weapon just because I can afford. If I don't know, if you don't use Unity, I would try deflection if you have troubles. Okay, the passives, there are basically three we can switch. We want evocation, of course. We want blur and tier 6. And this one is the main reason I went for lightning, and it actually works on high torment because yes, it stuns a lot. You will see during the fights most of the mobs are stunned, basically the whole fight, or together with black hole you have great amount of CC going on. And lastly, I'm using this one because I really like it, because yeah, I get a lot of damage mitigation. Also in my spec I don't have to move all the time, just teleport, nuke. And yeah, but you can replace it with all the city or elemental exposure. I wouldn't go for illusionist since we have a lot of cooldown reduction already, but some like it, or dominance for more mitigation, but for me this one works by far the best. Okay, so why lightning? I personally just chose to try Lightning-Archon because I got this necklace and I want to try something new. And lightning is not that popular. A lot of people say it's not working at all, but that's not true. Especially in group play it's great because of all the CC with black hole and the stuns, and yeah, it gives a lot of possibilities. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, let's take a look. So here we go. Tier 6, you see my gear. A lot of elites, I think it's 3 yellow ones and 1 or 2 blue ones, and they are hitting everything on me. And if you watch my HP, okay, here it goes really low, but yeah, I mean I even got frozen with so many elites. I mean I'm dying, so Unity is quite OP. I would have died 1,000 times already if I didn't have it equipped there. Also must say I probably was a bit lucky, but you can see the potential of it. I mean, also without String of Years it's not possible to stay alive there. So yeah, I'm not posting this video because to show how awesome I am, but just to see that it's possible to tank as wizard, especially solo. It's because a lot of wizards find that they are so squishy and dying on everything and every shit, then yeah, then they're just focusing on the wrong things. You want that damage mitigation. DPS is not that important because if you have some certain items like a Zoe, a decent weapon, and a good necklace, that's already good enough most of the time. Okay, then I'll show you some gameplay how it works with Stone of Jordan instead of Unity. You take more damage, but it's not big deal if you watch out. Okay, let's do just some random bounty. I don't know. Here usually a lot of mobs and elites, so whatever. As you see, no Unity on me. Okay, just start out. Okay, I can see it on the map. There should be the elite. Let's see. In Archon you can easily go on him, stand him shit, and you see basically was stunned the whole duration just from our passive. And it's that. Also the downtime on Archon is really low, so it's not really a problem. Would love to find another, maybe a bit harder now. Okay, what do we have? Frozen. You want to avoid frozen, no matter what. But as you can see, we can take a lot of hits. I mean, I can probably just stand there if he doesn't get stunned. Yeah. No way in hell he could one-shot me. Okay, so that's as easy as it is. And as I said, it's not hard to get the gear. I mean, the hardest part is probably to get the lightning necklace. Doesn't need to be Talrasha still. And the 3 weir parts. String of ears is pretty common, so okay, those are actually trying to kill me. So yeah, I hope that could help you a bit with your decision making regarding specs, gameplay. Lightning is pretty decent, I like it a lot. I mean, probably fire or arcane can output more damage, but with this shiny little talent, it's pretty awesome. Because as you saw earlier, the stun is really worth it. Because if they're not stunned, they are in black hole, or you are in Archon and they're stunned. So it's quite great to have. So if you have any questions, there is a link below. I also wrote down the spec on the U for Rome. And of course you can leave a note or ask me in-game or whatever. So wish you a nice day and thanks for listening. Bye bye.